أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن اتبعه بالإحسان إلى يوم الدين وبعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Alhamdulillah, I thank Allah for giving us another opportunity to be together this afternoon and to look at Nexus, Business, You and Islam. And in the light of the theme of this discussion, I was opportune to listen to the professor as she speak, and very, very interesting discussion, and I've learned so much from her. Alhamdulillah. But I can tell you that I had not listened to her before I put together this slide. So I didn't plagiarize. I put together the slide in the theme of the discussion. And as such, she spoke also to the theme. So you always find relevancies and connection between all this discussion, and you can find the chain. And that's exactly what I try to speak with. The people of knowledge, and like she said rightly about intention, the people of knowledge have said that when you learn the hadith, the fourth hadith in An-Nawawi hadith, if you learned that hadith and you understand the hadith in An-Nawawi, that is 2/3 of your entire religion. 2/3 of your entire religion. So in percentage, that will be 33.33%. of your entire religion has been learned. Just understanding the context of your intention towards an action. So today I will be looking at the topic, and I'm finding it extremely difficult, especially in the palace of Islam, to separate the man, his business, and Islam. They are not separable. They are the same thing. They are interwoven. You cannot separate the business of a man, Islam, okay, and himself. You can't separate them. So I can't say, okay, I'm a Muslim, but I'm doing a non-Islamic business. You understand? So it's not possible. I can't say, you see, I'm a Muslim, but my business is selling pork. You understand what I'm driving at? Absolutely. So I can also say that because my business is doing something different and that is against my faith, then I'm free to keep it. That would be a delusion and unacceptable as well. So where does business start? Business starts with the intention. A very good intention at that. Even selecting business partners starts with you having people of good intention. Before I go into An-Nawawi, I read in the book of the scholars with an hadith that have a sound isnan at matna, saying that when two people come together in a business and the first person put his hand down and the second person place his hand on top of it, the third hand on it, which is not seen, is the hand of Allah. And as such, if any of these first two hands decide to do something contrary to what has been agreed in evil, Allah takes off his hand. Now, when Allah takes off his hand from your business, what's left? Don't tell me. You just answer. But you know what is left, right? Okay, so we go back to what Imam al-Nawawi in the hadith that he collected, which is an hadith that had a sound isnad, brought to us. And we are all familiar with it. So I'm not going out into a realm that you're not familiar with. I'm taking you within the realm that you're familiar with, and we can discuss it together. So what are those attributes that we expect for a Muslim to have while doing business? Should the Muslim be involved in businesses? Should he? Why? Why should the Muslim? Let's make this as interactive as possible. Why should the Muslim be involved in business? The brother, you want to say something? To make money. For his family, take care of his family. Take his responsibility to his family. You see, that is very correct. The Sharia allows us to take care of three things in different fundamentals. The Sharia allows us to take care of that which is within us, to take care of that which is within our immediate surrounding, with that which is within our entire country, with that which is within the entire world. And so precedents are given based on the way they are ranked. Something, if you study the Maqasid Sharia, something that I have to take care of that is within my streets is not as important as the thing that I need to take care of that is within the local government. And as such, the one that has to do with the state becomes bigger. And as such, that is how the responsibility has been cascaded down. So the Muslims should be responsible in business for so many reasons. One, we have a responsibility to create wealth, not just for us, but for the furtherance of mankind. Very important. Oh, we've come here, we've discussed dini, and we could talk about usul al-fiqh to whatever level we want to talk about it. But when you pick the entire Quran and you take Tariq out of it, okay, and you look at the portion that is theology, pure play theology, whatever is left, about 70% is muamala. Pure is our relationship among ourselves and how we do business. That is where the trouble is. I can wake up in the morning, observe Salat to Subhi, Zuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha. I perform the three pillars of Islam. If I have money, I give zakah. If I have money, I go on Hajj. So even if you don't have money, it means you will still be able to only perform three. So you see why I'm important now. I'm trying to tell you why I'm important to come here and give this talk. So that you'll be able to perform all the five pillars of Islam. But beyond that, the niyyah. What are we going into this business for? What is a Muslim going into business for? For what? In our climb, where we have found ourselves today, it becomes much more important for us to go into entrepreneurial initiatives. Why? The jobs are no longer there. They're not there. So if you like, have 3 first degree, 6 master degree, 10 PhD, there's no work for you. So isn't this the time for us to start something? So for us to start, we must have knowledge of what we want to start. But before that, we must have very good intention. So intention is the trading of the knowledgeable. People who are knowledgeable, the first thing they do is that they purify their intention. So that's where we start. We start with our intention and we purify it. Oh, some people's business objective is, how do I cheat another person? There are people who are specialists in making pitches. They go, they pitch, they collect money, they divert it. Another pitch is ready, they go, they pitch, they collect cash, they divert it. And they continue to do pitches. And they are experts in raising funds through pitches. And there is no business on ground. That is not what the Mu'amala of Islam wants from us. We must be able to do something concrete on ground that is not only beneficial to us, but beneficial to entire mankind. So the value of a deed may be multiplied due to the gathering of several pious intentions in one occasion. So you have your good intention, other people have their good intention, and you have come together, Allah will bless it. Indeed, it is easy thing for those whom Allah makes easy for. For us, for people to have good intention. It's only easy for those whom Allah has made it easy for. For some people, all of their intentions are to the other way. Okay, and for some, good, nice intention. And so Imam An-Nawawi took us through this journey on this first hadith. عن أمير المؤمنين أبو حفص عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله عنه قال سمعت رسول صلى الله عليه وسلم إنما الأعمال بالنية وإنما لكل أمره ما نوى فمن كانت هجرة إلى الله ورسوله فَإِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ وَمَنْ كَانَتْ إِجْرَتُهُ لِلدُّنْيَا يُصِيبُهَا أَوْ امْرَأَةٍ يَنْكِحُهَا فَإِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى مَا هَاجَرَ إِلَيْهِ. رواه إمام المحدثين أبو عبد الله محمد ابن إسماعيل ابن إبراهيم ابن المغيرية ابن البرزيبة البخاري. What is important is, what is our niyyah before we want to do an act? What do we intend to get out of it? So let's reduce it back to business. What is the business that we want to do? What is the relevance of this business to our community? What is the relevance of this business to us as a people? And what is the relevance of this business to the generation to come? So will the Muslim say, no, I can just do this thing and inshallah, by the time I make enough money out of it, I know it's haram, I'll just do istighfar and Allah will forgive me. What about if you do not have the chance and the opportunity to make the istighfar? And in the process of it, Allah does not even bless it for you. So a pious intention is very good. Don't try to separate it, and I'll give you a little story. Very few years ago, some brothers came in from abroad. I think the country should be in Europe now. Yeah, should be in Europe now. They came in and we had an all-night business discussion. And the brothers were very interested in selling medical implants. And I just headed a medical project for one organization at that time. And we were buying implants for a lot of money. So I was interested. And we spent a whole night having discussion. The lead member of the team that came from abroad said towards midnight, he said, this is our business. We want to separate it from our friendship and Islam. In my usual character, I will have just stand up and walk away. But it was night. And I was conscious of the environment, so I kept quiet. But I was there and I switched off. Because I can sit with you and you can be talking for me to the next 3 hours. I will not make a word and I will show as if I'm in apt concentration and I have not heard a single word from what you have said. I've perfected it. I can also stand between a machine, I will be looking and I'll be fast asleep and my eyes will be open. I've also perfected that. No, it's not being mischievous. A boss taught me, he's asked me to do some photocopy in those days during FEDECO. And he said for every page that I photocopy is 1 naira. So in the morning he saw what I photocopied and he said, no, that's too much. It means I will pay you now based on how many hours you are awake. So I stood awake with the machine till the morning and I will not sleep and I will not do anything and I will be sleeping. So when the brother said that, I switched off and I wasn't listening to him again. So the next morning, I quickly got into my car and I drove home. So 2 days after they got back, they still did some tour and they got back and said, so the financials, Dr. Salaudeen, when can you run the financials for us? I said, no, I stopped being a member of your team from last night, the day before yesterday in the night. When you said to me that there's a difference between Islam, friendship and this business, I switched off. I'm no longer part of you. The other brothers felt there was nothing wrong with it. They participated and they went ahead with the business. And they asked me what is my position. I said, if you like it, I don't have a problem. The business never saw the light of the day. That is the long and short of it. Because the intention was wrong from inception. It was wrong from inception. So we must make sure at all time that we purify our intention such that we are doing it because of Allah. Should it be that if you do it for any other reason other than for Allah, it will not be successful? No. If you read the spirit of this hadith, he says if you do it because you want to do the hijrah because of this world or for a woman, you will still get it. But you will not have the reward for this. Now for people who have started with good intention, have created good things, Apart from them having a reward from it, for anybody who has followed that footsteps, they will continue to take commission for the good deed. And that is why it is important for us to ensure at all times that these intentions are good and pure. And we'll continue to check it to make sure that, are we still on this intention? Are we still on this good intention? Are we still on this good intention? If the intention is derailing, we should bring it back to that which is good. May Allah assist us. Now, I then went into the second ethical issue that we will always be confronted with and we must develop as people that are Muslims and we're dealing with Islam and our businesses. And I said that second issue is a noble manner. Noble manner. We should be noble. We should be noble. The best man in manner is the most beloved by the prophets, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and those placed in the closest to him. In summary, noble manner sweeps all the goodness in this world and in the hereafter. I've seen a situation where people have come for job interview, and with their composure and the noble look, people have said that, they didn't actually do very well in this interview. Give them the job. Give them the job. And you say, why? He said, no, something just tells me. I've sat in an interview panel and somebody will say, something just tells me that he can do better. Something. What is that something? That's something that is being perceived. Noble manners of the merchant possess a great impact in spreading of Islam in various regions of Asia and Africa. Look at Islam. Who are the people that brought it to Africa and Asia? They are merchants. They are traders. But it's their manners. It's their manners that people were actually looking at and saying, these are people that when they say wallahi tallahi, it's wallahi tallahi. It's not na lie and a lie. They meant it. When they tell you this is it, it is. You can take it. If they say it is not, it is not. And they took all the hardship. They crossed through the Sahara. They came to Africa. Noble people. At the time of Salah, they will leave their ways. They will go and pray. And people will be observing them. And they were asking them questions. And when they do business with them, they tell them, this is this. This is that. And they are able to explain in simple languages for people to understand and people to also benefit from. May Allah bestow His grace upon one who makes ease for others in selling. When we sell, we make it easy for people. If you want to know how easy it is for people to buy today when we sell, go to our market and look at the measures. They've been panel beated as if they had accident with truck. Just to make sure that we short feel for everyone. At all times, we short feel. We ran a course 3 weeks ago at the Lagos Business School, and we call it the analysis of business problems in Nigeria. And somebody made a remark. He said, the people you could trust when they give you a measure are just the Muslims. I was smiling, but my heart was on my teeth, whether I could say that. Because that is what we're known for. But gradually we are also moving away from that nobleness. But we must come back to it. When we are buying, we must also be noble. Do not price the item until the person you want to buy from has gone into shortage. Bah. And when we do this thing, we price it, the man lost everything because he's so hungry and he has to eat. He goes into debt, and we go into the next restaurant, which is probably or an hotel which is 3 or a 4-star or a 5-star, and we buy item very expensive. We eat half and leave half, and we dash the waiter the change. And you are punishing the poor man on the streets. A friend of mine, Imam Bashir, once told me of a story. He said he was working on Oshodi, and this man approached him and said, buy sunglasses. And he said, sunglasses? I can't even see properly. Why do you want to sell sunglasses to me? But he now looked at the guy and said, okay, so let me buy. So he called him, said, how much is it? And the man said, it's 350. They said, okay, can I pay 300? He said, 300. I bought it 300. Now say, okay, so take 350. So when he gave him 500 naira, he went and looked for change and gave him 150. So he put the glasses on his pocket. So maybe someday I will need it, and he was walking away. The man now said, Afa, ewa, meaning, sir, come back. So he came back, and he was thinking, maybe he wants to beg him for money. He now said, may Allah never allow you to go hungry. And he said, he said, in the last 3 days, this money you are giving to me, I'm going to test my first meal. Now, some of the time when we go to start bargaining, that is when you start practicing your bargaining power on the poor people. Now, these are the people you are practicing it on. It's not a laughing matter, it's a very serious issue, brothers. Very serious issues. Okay? You are very good in bargaining, you are expert. Go to ShopRite and go and practice it. And the prophet didn't end it. He said, and when we come to collect our debts, you know our attitude when we want to collect our debts. We stop being Muslims. We stop being Muslim. Say, but we are Muslims. Hey, Islam take back or no? And that is our act. I've seen this a number of times. I've heard this a number of times. These are very wrong things to do. We have to be gentle when we do this. We have to remember that we are still Muslims. And we have to remember that irrespective of what we put together, we will meet Allah with nothing. Performing business in decent legal field, not only Islamically legal. When your country say don't do it, don't do it. If you do it and you are caught, you're on your own. You're on your own. They say, the country say, don't do this. And you say, no, as far as it's permissible in Islam, me, I will do it. If you do it and you are caught, you've gone against the people in authority. And the Quran say, you must be careful when you are dealing with people in authority. And Allah has legalized the good and forbidden the evil for his slaves. A Muslim entrepreneur will not transgress this boundary. Although there are great seduction in forbidding businesses. When Allah has said something is forbidden, Shaitan makes it beautiful. Makes it very beautiful. He adores it. You begin to look at it and say, we can dance around it now, just not necessarily touching it. You are going close. Better start talking to yourself. So you have to look at it. That which is bad and that which is good, they are not the same. They are completely different. So we must check at all times. Performing obligations. Allah said, I will be against 3 persons on the day of resurrection. One who makes a covenant in my name, but he proves treacherous. Wallahi tallahi summa billahi la ilaha illa huwa. I don't know who taught us these things. You say wallahi. It's enough, it's well. You say tallahi, billahi, allazi la ilaha illa huwa. What do you want? And deeply, you know you are lying, though. Deeply, you know you are lying. And you are saying all of this. For what? Sayyidina Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he said, for the things that I will say that is correct, I will not even swear on it. So, how much more do you think that you know is a lie? You saw it plainly now that it is black and you say it is white. And you are now swearing. So Allah said he will not have, he will be against those people on the day of resurrection. People who prove treacherous. One who sells a free person as a slave and eats the price. So many methods of that today I'm emphasizing. Some of us, we are not selling people directly. but they've given us maybe our niece or somebody to stay with us, and the kind of job we will never put our children into, that's what we put them into. We must be careful. And one who employs a laborer and gets the full work done by him, but does not pay him his wages. I used to work in a company, and for 7 months we were not paid. And I approached the chairman of the company and I said, this is the situation. He said, yeah, you continue to manage. That is the work. I said, well, I don't have a problem. But this is what I heard the junior staff saying. They are saying, may God never allow this business to be prosperous. So if that is also the way the business is, I will not be here. Because while part of what they are swearing for is affecting the business, I need to also protect my head so that it's not affecting me. The business went under. The business went under. Because you must be careful of the prayer of the man who has been marginalized. You must be careful of his prayer. Not devouring other people's wealth wrongfully. Allah said, believers, do not devour one another's possession wrongfully. Rather, let there be trading by mutual consent, and do not kill yourself. I always ask this question, and do not kill yourself. When you take that which does not belong to you, which belongs to another person, if you take that and you devour that person's wealth, you have killed him. So don't kill him. In another narration, the Prophet ﷺ said, invest the property of the orphan wisely so that it is not devoured. Because zakah will come into it and zakah will clear it. While you are also given the responsibility to keep it, manage it. Because Allah will ask you after it. Allah has prohibited his slaves, that is the believer, to devour other people's possession wrongfully, such as usury. Today, if you run away from it, even the smoke will touch you. Riba everywhere. Everything we want to do. But alhamdulillah, we are living in a nation that we have never had this kind of experience before. Everything Islamic in terms of finance, in terms of banking, in terms of lending, are coming up gradually. It's only for us to help it. Now, we have to be careful. Direct comparison. No, why is our Islamic bank behaving like this and this other one is not behaving like this? How old is your Islamic bank? How old? How old are your conventional banks? What expertise do you have in your Islamic bank? What expertise do they have in the conventional bank? They are still struggling. They are still learning. But we also need to repair our intention as Muslims. For all of us that have 100,000 naira, 10,000 naira is in the Islamic bank, 90,000 naira is in the conventional bank. So we have something we can show to people that we are saving in the Islamic bank, and we have the bulk of it in the conventional bank. When we show it to people and we hide it from people, we can't hide it from Allah. Gambling. Every nook and cranny of our country today is gambling. There is a gambling parlor everywhere. In fact, if you say you don't want to see it, they are posting it on your phone. They send it to your phone. You've not received it before? It's on your phone. They tell you, try this one. One will say, JUBRIL SALAUDEEN, congratulations. Or 080, he puts my number, I say, congratulations, you have just won 200,000 naira. Where did I play? Where? So all those things, they are making it look attractive to you. We had this discussion somewhere in the Northeast where we're talking about Codeine. And we're talking to them about the danger of gambling. And in a mosque, and the brother said, what other business will give you the kind of money that gambling is giving us? See, the rules are very simple. Nobody wins a gamble. Nobody. It's only the owner of the gambling table that wins. Nobody wins. Nobody wins in the betting parlor. The only person that wins is the owner of the gambling table. And the rules are straightforward. You all did probability, right? Okay. So this is what happened. I know all the games, huh? All of them. So the guy say it's 1 of 40. You know the meaning? He say, I'm thinking of 3 numbers between 1 and 40 in my mind. Guess it. So you all guess 100 naira, 200 naira, 50 naira, 100 naira, 300 naira. So when he sees all your results, he now say, okay, so this is the number I'm talking about. Can you win? Can you win? That's the way the odds are drawn. That's the way the odds are drawn. You can never win. So you're losing money. The little money that you're supposed to eat with, you're now losing it. Gambling. Hoping that you win. And research has shown around the world that sports betting, lotto, and other forms of gambling are more successful where there are poverty. So the more impoverished the people are, the more successful this thing will become. Because just ask yourself, common sense, how can you ever win? Bribery. Bribery. One of the things that we have done on our part to make sure that even our nation is not working is bribery. Parents, the child wants to go to Unilag. How much can I bribe them? Why? Must you bribe? Must you bribe? Must the child go to Unilag? And if he has to go to Unilag, why can't he work hard? We think there are easy ways to get things. Wallahi, and this was last night. A sister called me, so I was asking her after her daughter. Last year we had a discussion and she said she wants to register NECO for the child, for her daughter. Non-appearance. I heard the word from her for the first time. He said it's non-appearance. I said, meaning what? He said the child would not appear. I said, then no exam has been written. He said, no. That you don't understand. I said, well, I don't understand. I'm not that knowledgeable. So last night, I'm not making this up. So she called me yesterday and we got talking. And I said to her, so how is your daughter? He said, the person they gave the money to for non-appearance cheated. I said, how? I said, they bought a scratch card, right? That's what they call it. Scratch card. And they log onto the platform to check this daughter's result. And it was absent. So I said to her, but that is what she wrote. She was not present. So it was absent. Isn't it? And she got annoyed. Bribery. In the classification of sins among people who studied the Sharia, his fourth on the hierarchy is worse than zina. Bribery. And various deeds that create fight and consuming others' wealth wrongfully. We must be careful with them. So when you bring it into your business, you ask yourself, what I've been given a trust by investors. They've given me cash. How do I invest this money that benefits the business? Not that I put it into something that we have not agreed to do. Being committed to existing rules, although there are several regulations that doesn't match the Sharia, a Muslim businessman will try his best to avoid all this that might cause him to be punished. Not because he believes that creations have authority and power to establish rules and regulation, but due to his belief on the principle that Allah has set, that is to prevent damage and preventing himself to be falling into doom. You don't look for things that you will do wrongfully. The Lord takes you out and you put other people's investments into jeopardy. You have to be careful with it. Harming no one. This is difficult, right? Because of the nobleness of a Muslim business. And you also find yourself that today in business, you have to deal with the factors of competition. Right? Now you have to be noble even in competition. In the conventional practice of business, competitions are swift and dirty. You have to be careful. You have to be careful. May Allah forgive us. In the days when we have done things that are dirty like this as well, may Allah forgive us. You will find people who will not only attack competition from let us go and compete to provide the best of service in the market, but is to kill the other person's business. Targeting the business, trying to kill it. I've seen businesses who buy the packaging material of other businesses and they crush it. And they know without that they can't be successful. So as Muslims, we hold the principle not to harm anyone. We must also not manipulate the world to the disadvantage of others. We will not establish high price to make use of other people's need of the goods we sell. And if we are the only people that produce such goods, we don't say because we're a monopoly, then we do whatever we like. Don't forget, even monopolies don't last. None will stake his goods, but a sinner. Learning the Sharia law regarding social interaction. This is an area where we have not done very well, and we need to do very well with. Whenever we have to do business, we have to understand what does the Sharia say about this business we want to do. Please, if we do not understand the position of the Sharia, let us ask people who know. For those of us that have been asked where we don't know, let us not guess. Some of us, our expertise is in theology. We try to say, okay, maybe we know theology and want to rub it into this. Let us be careful so that we do not go in and begin to bring wrong interpretation. During the time of Umar radiallahu ta'ala an, as the Khalif, he repels merchants who did not master the law of trading from the Muslim market. At any soak, Umar will insist, do you understand the Sharia? If you say no, he says, oh, please get out of the soak. Go and learn the Sharia, then come back. You must understand the Sharia that deals with buying and selling. What does the Sharia says you should do when you are into agency business? What is your limit? When you provide service, what does the Sharia say you should do? What is your limit? When you are manufacturing, what is the position? What is your limit? So we must understand this position and play based on the limits that have been set for us. So in summary, the Muslim business person or the Muslim individual is encouraged to go into business to create wealth. Today we need it more than ever before. More than ever before, we need it. We used to say our parents have not done much, but true to type, they've done so well and we've done so little. I used to remember growing up that most of the bakeries in those days are owned by Muslims. Today, we are not the owners of the bakeries. We are probably the ones that are hawking the bread on the street or the laborers that works in the bakery. Today, when a Muslim comes to you with a business proposal, you are afraid to commit money. You are afraid. And I can tell you that people of my age and similar sit on a lot of money, but they are afraid to commit it. Say, okay, I want to help him, but I don't also want to lose my money. Of course, protecting my wealth comes before helping him. Right? So when he has now come in, and the brother sits down on your carpet in your sitting room, as if next to the prophet is next, until you give him money, then you know that after Iblis is next. These are the characters that makes it very difficult for Muslims who are in possession of wealth to trust another Muslim with it. We need to repair our attitude in this. We need to repair our attitude in this. May Allah assist us. Next to that is when we are given the amana of managing these businesses. What do? We want to take the salary and run our own business by the side. That's what we want to do. We take the salary from this one, giving it 20% of attention and giving our own 80% of attention. So this will die, this will die. So what have we done? It's not all of us that will become entrepreneurs. It's not all of us. Our skills are different. Some are good just to work, and at the end of the month, they take their salary and they take care of their issues. Alhamdulillah, that's fine for them. Some have to think about how others will get their salaries. There's a month that the salary in my office was late by 6 days. And I went in, I called the security people and drivers, and I said to them, sorry guys, we had challenges this month with cash flow, and that's why the salary is getting late. That was the day I learned the best lesson of my life. The security man said to me, sir, whether the company makes money or not, it's none of my business. My job is to stay on these gates. People come in the morning, I open the gates. They go out, I close the gates. 30 days, you pay me my money. If I want to think about how people make money or not make money, I will have gone to school and go and learn how they make money or don't make money. What I've learned is how to open this gate and close this gate. Give me my money. True, he has spoken. And he taught me something. From that day, I start paying the salary from gatemen to drivers, cleaners, up to the top. If we get to the top and cash flow is missing and another month has cycled, we go back again. So I can tell those people who know that cash flow is a challenge, I can explain to them. I won't go to explain to the people who don't know that cash flow is a challenge. So when we work with people, we must also understand their capacity and give to them only that which they can comprehend. It is not proper to give them that which they cannot comprehend. Do we understand? Don't say, the guy looks multitasking, and the job you have given to him is to trim the flower. You now give him the job of doing the work of a carpenter as well. The day he hits his hand and is broken is on you. We must understand how to deal with people and also to make sure that we encourage them and make them better. May Allah assist us in what we do. May Allah forgive us for what we've said wrongly. For whatever I've said this morning I have been wrong, it's from me and it's from shaitan. May Allah forgive me. And whatever I've said that has been right, it is in progress from the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah reward all of us. Wa akhiru dawana walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum. My question has to do with procrastination. That's about the idea of moving beyond just having ideas in your head into implementation. So we spoke about businesses, about the idea of how most of us prefer or like to play safe. We don't like, we're okay with just what we're doing because we don't want to go into, we have ideas, but the idea of implementing or taking that bold step. So how can we actually go beyond just having ideas and making those ideas happen?
So from ideas to reality. Very good. Number 2.
Assalamu alaikum. So on two premises. One, that morality is slowly creeping out of the community. And two, the hope of success that illegality gives to the struggling mind. How then are we supposed to brand illegality that the fellow youth and the upcoming generations do not fall into trap?
Say that again.
How are we to rebrand illegality?
How to rebrand? Why do you want to rebrand illegality?
So the Muslims, because everybody's doing it. People do Yahoo even though they say they are Muslims and things like that. So how then do we let them know that this is something bad? Because people don't really, or at least the growing youths don't subscribe to the idea of we're going to hell, or they scare for all of these things. So how exactly should we tame them, or how are we supposed to tame them?
Okay. Because I didn't understand it. Number three, no, I don't. Yes, it does, so it's fine. Number three, yes.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So my question is focused on business actually. So is there what we can call like an Islamic business ecosystem? Does anything like that ever exist?
An Islamic ecosystem, whether it exists or not.
Or not? That's one. And two is, should we say Muslims, the Ummah as a whole, is enough a market to create something for?
Okay, is there a market with the Muslim population?
So those are my questions.
Thank you. Next question, please. Alaikum salam.
Please, I would want our doctor to please expatiate on how to convince those accidental winners from this.
Say again.
I would want our doctor to actually convince those accidental winners from this Naira bet that.
What do you mean by accidental winners?
I mean those one-off winners who would have lost several nairas, several thousands. They are actually accidental winners and not real winners.
All right. Next question.
Assalamu alaikum. Let me put it this way to understand. For instance, you were sent to learn a business of maybe a spare parts, doing buying and selling. And at the end of the day, when you finish, you meet yourself in the midst of those who are already corrupt, maybe by doing one or two things before they put the business into the market. So how do you cope? As in, how do you manage yourself in their midst? Or do you still need to do what they were doing, or you need to get out of the place?
So in other words, staying Muslim within a corrupt society, yeah?
Yes, exactly.
All right. Next question. Say again. The corrupt business environment, yes. Bismillah.
Yeah, my question is based on trust. As a site engineer, your major responsibility is to liaise with the artisans and submit the account to the head office. But you've agreed on a certain price with the artisans. You've used your judgment to gauge the price. But at the head office, when they approve the account, they cut it. So you have breached the trust of the artisans,
So
which is not directly.
Hold on. So you agreed on a price with artisans without the knowledge of the management. Is that what you're saying?
That's your responsibility on site. Then you will now submit the account of what you've done.
Right.
But you've used your judgment and everything has been done.
Okay.
But from the head office, maybe when they come, they will be like, why will two people just get 30,000 naira for a job done for 2 days?
Right.
Just let's remove 10,000 naira from it. So they've used you to breach trust on the artisans. So what should you do in that regard? That's number one. And number two, there are some systems where bribery is you just have to do it. Like you have document at Alausa that needs to be processed. Without it, nothing will be done. So what do you do in that circumstances also?
Next question, please.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.
Alaikum salam.
Okay, I have two questions here. My first question is, I would like
quiet, please. Let's honor the brother. He's asking a question. Please, let's keep quiet.
Okay. I would like to get a brief on the Islamic perspective with regards to fixed deposits from maybe the conventional banks. And secondly, in society today, we know how challenging it is to get employment, like he rightly said that we should be entrepreneurs. And the greatest challenge so far is how to raise the money to do business. And we've seen that since we're not ready to assist each other, even when you have the idea, it just dies off like that, since you cannot finance it. I'm like, what would be the advice that you give to us in such situations? You're not employed, you have the idea, you don't have money to implement it. So what do you do?
So does this tie down with the first question of taking your ideas from ideas to reality, right?
Yes, please.
On how to do it. All right. Next question. The guy in cap.
Assalamu alaikum. My question is, what will a good Islamic intention sound like? What will it look like? Especially you want to do business and you are coming together with people of diverse faith, diverse motivation. Can your own good intention suffice the business, or it will only suffice your stake in the business? Or should we run away like you did in that your own encounter?
How the mic is going on.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah.
My question is, you're an entrepreneur, you have a good intention of the business you want to do, but at the end of the day, you now realize that there are some conditions that Islamically you have to compromise. I don't know how I'm going to put it. That are compromising, let me just put it that way. Okay, for instance, you are into beauty, hair and beauty business, and then there are some things that you can't do Islamically, but there are other alternatives to it. And there are those alternatives.
Example.
For instance, okay, some will say you can relax your hair with relaxer. Some will say you can relax your hair with relaxer. Some will say you can use attachment. Some will say you can use Brazilian wool. In such situations, what do you do? As in, how do you try to balance without going out of Islam?
So I think your question is, should you do attachment for non-Muslims as a business?
Yeah, something like that.
All right. Next question.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Yeah, my question is with regards to the reality that many of us that run Muslim, in quote, Muslim-owned businesses, and specifically for Muslim target customers. You spoke about what is expected of the Muslim business owner. I would just like to find out, in view of the challenges that we face, particularly in our climb here, is there anything under the Sharia that, would I say, also compels the Muslim customer to give like a special consideration for Muslim-owned businesses? Because what I see is that when it comes to businesses, Muslims is when they don't have money, they want it fi sabilillah, that they remember their brother or sister who is running a business. Is there anything under the Sharia that also compels them to be a bit considerate? And then my second question is, based on the challenges that many of us face, particularly the one about paying our staff and all that, that really hits home for somebody like me, where you find out that the kind of business that you run, cash flow is most times always a problem. The money comes in eventually, but it doesn't come in at the end of the month when you're supposed to pay salaries. So you find out that you are only able to pay your salaries when you have the bulk of your money coming in. You supply goods and then you have to wait until the customer pays you. So even though you've explained to your staff that this is the situation, does the Sharia allow that? Because it's an issue that bothers me particularly a lot.
My
question is on this conventional bank. Like, is it halal saving on it? And even if it is haram, like, why is the Muslims not upholding the Islamic banking?
So the question, if I understand, is
my question is on the conventional banks, like the banks we have now.
yes,
like,
whether it's okay to have a bank account in commercial. Yeah, okay. Okay, so that has been asked, I think. Yeah, okay. Next. Alaikum salam.
Actually, I have two questions. The first one is similar to the first question, but...
So could we merge the two and just ask one? Okay.
The question is there a particular rate that you're supposed to add to a value? Probably I got a scarf from the market like 700 and I'm selling at a price of 1,000.
Okay, so markup, markup limit, is there a limit? Right, all right.
And
it's one now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Okay, so my question is, do we have any support system for businesses, especially Muslims, especially sisters? You know, that's the question. If there is none, please, can somebody just start something? So at least we have some like support system.
So support system, ecosystem, same thing, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you come from the same place? Same home, maybe? Married? Shukran.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Please, I want to ask, is Baranda allowed in Islam?
Baranda?
Yes.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is baranda, please?
Okay, let me explain in my own terms. Okay, this is a table water. I sell a table water for like 15 naira, normal price. And somebody walk up to me and say, okay, mobile customer, but I'm bringing a customer to you, and she wants this bottled water in large quantities. Get me for Wosi, like sell it like 80 naira. I'll be like, okay, I want to sell my product, and I'm selling.
Okay, so
the person wants.
you take your 50 and give the person 30.
Yes. And so when the person now I'll be compelled to now say, if she asks me how much is your water, I'll say, okay, it's 80 naira. I don't know if it's allowed.
Okay. I think we are through. Oh, okay. Last question, right?
Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yes, I don't know if it's an hadith that was quoted on one of your slides.
Yeah.
That anyone that stakes his goods is a sinner. So I don't know if that meant auctioning. So I want to ask if auctioning is allowed, like buying things on auction to the highest bidder, and also forex trading. I don't know if it's allowed.
So there's two different questions. You're asking for forex trading and auctions.
Yes.
The brother asked regarding procrastination, implementation instead of thinking, and going beyond idea. I'm not sure we'll be able to do full justice to that here. It is a seminar topic on its own. Okay? But I know that one of the things that you always find with MICA is that they will take back some things like this and they know a way of crafting it back into a seminar or a workshop. And inshallah, please look out for it so that you can attend such seminars. And if I'm invited, inshallah, I will certainly come and also speak to it. But it's not something we can take in one or two words to give justice to that. Morality and illegality. How do we make them know that illegality is bad? You see, everybody knows that illegality is bad, except anybody who wants to pretend. We all know what is bad, and it is clear. We all know that which is good, and it is clear. This is not my word. This is what the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. Say, al-halal baynanum, wal-haram baynanum. That which is forbidden is clear and understood. That which is acceptable is clear and understood. What we try to do in between is to look for that which is forbidden, and we try to color it. You see, the trouble is there's nothing you can do to it. No matter how much color you try to bring onto it, the leg and the hand will always come out, and they will always be bad. So let us stick to that which is good, and that which is permissible, and that which is legal. The Islamic business ecosystem, does it exist? Is the Muslim population big enough a market? In Nigeria, the Islamic business ecosystem is tiny. It's tiny. And for people who have listened to me over the years and they said, we want to do this business and restrict it to the Muslim, I've said, don't do it. Don't do it. We are a community of people that complains over everything. That's what we do. And we draw comparison where there is no need. So when people come and say, I want to do this business just to serve the Muslim, I say, look beyond the Muslim. Look beyond the Muslim. Yes, something for the Muslim, but beyond the Muslims as well. Okay? So it is tiny. Very little people will say, my brother Abdul Rashid produced this water. He's a Muslim. Whether the packaging is good or not, I'm going to buy it. Very tiny people. But more of us will say, you see, this is what Brother Rashid produced. I wish he can make it like Kowo. What's the name of that one? Maybe he can make it like Kowo. Then we can be able to buy. Those are in the majority. So service everybody. He said the Muslim population big enough a market. In terms of population of numbers, is a big enough population. But in terms of population of spending, it's tiny. Do you understand? The population is tiny because we seek free sabilillah. Accidental winners from lottery, nobody wins. My brother, nobody wins a lottery. Nobody. The guy who has won accidentally, as described, ask him how much he has won and how much he has been staking. From every lottery basket, last year, December, I was in a forum where the MD, the chairman of Premier Lotto, was also seated in a function. And the guy said, So when he made that comment, I went with a more senior person. And the person now asked him, he said, like how much? This November, says October, November, December, every month, 50 billion. 50 billion. So when he said 50 billion, me, as JUBRIL SALAUDEEN, and people who know me, when I hear numbers of money, my adrenaline pumps up. So I asked him, I said, Hello, won't win. How much, the stakers, how much do they win? He said, less than 10%. That's gambling everywhere in the world. Nobody wins. Whenever Allah said to you that something is haram, be careful. It's only going to make you more impoverished. Nothing more. Business in the face of corruption and being a Muslim. You see, when you come into LBS, we teach a course on analysis of business problem, then we teach business ethics. In the business ethics class that I've taken, what I used to say to people when they come into class, day one, is that I say, everybody take a chalk, go to the chalkboard and write another synonym for bribery. No two are identical. They have all sorts of names for it. 40 people in class, 40 different names. Grease, PR, cost of sales, all sorts of names. You see, when something has too many names, it's corruption you are just trying to hide. That's what you're just trying to run away from it and try to hide it. It's not going to work. If you want to be Muslim, be a Muslim. If you don't want to be a Muslim, don't be a Muslim. Don't be half Muslim today, non-Muslim tomorrow, this Muslim. Don't try to be it. So, don't get involved in it. Is it tough? It is tough. In the long run, it is more rewarding. Learn to say to people, sorry, we don't do this. And I'll give you a very clear-cut case, and you see how it worked out. We did a bidding for POS machine in Nigeria. And when I was going for that bidding, I came into the company because I had a skill to turn an ailing company to success. When it's successful, I don't know how to manage it. So, I looked at it. I don't know how to manage it because I'll kill it. So, the owner called me to come and look at the business. So I looked at the business and we did the proposal. And the owner said to me, you can't take this proposal to the bid. It's a central bank bid. I said, why? He said, look at our history. We have 6 years of losses. You want to take 6 years of losses to the bid? I said, that's exactly what I'm doing. And so I packaged the financial 6 years, all losses. I put it on a slide, tried to make it look beautiful. And I did the presentation. And the deputy governor looked at me and said, SALAUDEEN. I said, sir. He said, are you looking at the board? I said, yes. He said, you're not looking at the board. You are smiling, presenting to us, and your result is 0. I said, yes. He said, can you supply POS in Nigeria with a bad result? I said, I think we can do it. He said, how? I said, we're going to turn up the face. He said, why don't you turn up the face and come back? You can't do this. After the presentation, a lot of people came to meet me and they said, there are a few people, you can give them cash, you can do this, and they will give. I said, no, I'm not going to give anybody anything. And the owner asked me to meet him in boat club, and we met in boat club. He said, JUBRIL, but Eman Lagidi, Man, like this thing. Why should I come on now? Why they lost you, bro? I lost you back. Very funny. And I said, it will not happen. So what are the options? I said, I don't know. And to be honest, I didn't know. I don't have any options, no alternative, but I knew I was not going to do it. And I was not going to bribe. So when the bid got, at the end of the bid, they dropped us. We didn't qualify. But we can manufacture another new financials within that 1 year. So we went back and we were doing other things that we could do, try our hands on it. Then somebody came and said, why don't you petition the Central Bank of Nigeria on this, that you have the capacity to do it. Your history should not be used to judge your future. I said, okay. So I dropped the document, almost 50 pages, and I took it to the Central Bank. And Sanusi said to me, I have a belief that you can do it, but your financial says you can't do it. I said, yes, but I've also gotten a letter from my bank that said they want to support me. I said, okay, go and do it. And so we're given approval in principle. We were 19 months late. Every other person who was in the market, we came in 19 months after every other person was in the market. And in exactly 4 years, we're number 2. And all the people that asked for bribe and we didn't give them, today when you talk to them, they will say, those guys will do a good job, but they will not bribe you. They will always add it. They will not bribe you. If you ask them for anything, they will not give you. So even the person you give bribe to, Sunday will speak ill of you. Breach of trust between artisan and site engineer on agreed prices. Bribery, you just have to do it. Brother, I've dispelled it. You don't have to do bribery. It's your choice. Okay? And Allah did not promise anybody riches in this world. So don't make the mistake. Allah will give you enough that you can be able to report upon. The less you have, maybe the better for you. Now, that is not a breach of trust. Is your contract gone bad? That contract is not firm. There must be a rate between the company and the artisan. Not you agreeing on behalf of the company a rate for the artisan. That should never happen. You are not the company. You are only a representative of the company. So whenever they are saying go and negotiate a rate, then they must give you the full authority to do it. Where they are not giving you the full authority to do it, then you can't promise. Do you understand? Yes, company are also in this attitude to sit down in the office and say, just fixing this door, 10,000 naira, forgetting the skills. Skills are priced. Skills are priced. And sometimes if you want to see how skills are priced, you can check in the marine industry. I once managed a company that has a ship and they want to go for dry dock. And the guy said they have to go for dry dock in Douala. And they were given the daily price for dry dock, not to replace anything, just to stay on the dry dock, what you pay on a daily basis. By the way, the marine business does not take prisoners. Honestly, they don't. They kill you. So if you have to do, and if they give you an agreement, even if it is 3 pages, you better look for a very good lawyer to start helping you to interpret it. Because by the time something comes up and they begin to now tell you the interpretation of what has been written, you now know that there are words behind the words. But so this guy came in and said, oh, what do you want to do in the dry dock? I'm going to charge you $23,000. When I said, so my colleague said, how many days work? He said, that's none of your business. Forget the number of days. Let that be on me. $23,000 or no deal. He looked at it and said, okay, deal, $23,000. The total number of work he did on the ship was less than 30 minutes. So we said, 30 minutes of work, $23,000. He said, and so Farouk, my friend, said, So apparently the guy had it. So he said $22,000 for knowing what to hit. $1,000 for hitting it. Fixed deposit from conventional bank, haram. That is the easiest question. A good intention, what should it be? What does it sound like? It is one that must protect your deen, protect your person, and protect your community. One, if you do a business that gives you good income, but releases poison into the society, it's not a good Islamic intention. So it must be one that, yes, good for you, must be good for your society and good for your deen. Some will not release poison into the environment, but it is harmful for your deen. We often say that if Sharia scholars were to have the reign when automatic weapons were manufactured or explosive, they would have banned it. Because the Sharia will not allow you to manufacture a weapon that will kill multiple people. So that is bad for your religion. It could be good for warfare, but bad for your religion. You see, I don't like answering this kind of question. And do I have to relax my hair? Or do I have to cut my nail and stuff like that? So I'm not going to answer this. The hard JUBRIL with me is coming up. I'm trying to be very nice today. You know, I'm very seated, so I'm trying to be a nice boy, not misbehave, nice. I've been talking very nicely. So yeah, I've been fine, I've been. So yeah, it's a consideration for Muslim-owned business. Do we have? Yes. The people who have put together, you will not find any ayah of the Quran that says that. You will not find a single hadith that will say that. Like you will not find for most of the Sharia position that govern modern businesses. You will not find anything around that. It is juries that have come together to say this is the way it should be. And they say we should give the first preference to the Muslim businesses. There is that position. In fact, they say we should go look for it before we go into any other business. Look for any other business. So if I have my sister that sells water, I should look for her water first before any other one. Because whatever she makes from it, zakat will be paid out of it. Whatever she makes out of it, sadaqah will be paid out of it. And it will only make the community better. Okay? So there's a position on that. Yes, paying staff on time based on cash flow. You see, what we need to do is to explain the cash flow position to them. Honestly, for most businesses today, it is difficult to pay on time. Even government is finding it difficult to pay on time. Even government is finding it very difficult to pay on time. So we must explain the position to them. I can share a system with you. I'm on the board of a business. I don't run the business directly. We check the pattern, because what we used to do before is we go and borrow, pay. Then when we get the money, we start running back to go and refund the loan. And that system was not just working, because sometimes you roll over. So we say, okay, let's check the cash flow of this business. And what we discover is that the money comes in quarterly. The bulk flow comes in quarterly. So we say, okay, so take this bulk flow. We now spoke to the staff. We say, sit down, this is the way we're going to pay you. Everybody will get 20% of their salary on a monthly basis. Then you will get a bulk payment every quarter that covers the rest. And that was how we were able to structure that cash flow to suit them. Cash flow today is difficult. Honestly, it's difficult. And when you check of the staff emolument from your total flow, outflow, it's about 40%. Sometimes more. So it's huge. It's huge. May Allah make it easy for us. My sister, you will go through this. Oh, it's a phase. Are you 10 years yet? Okay, wait. When it's 10 years, that is when stability will come. So for those who think that you just go into business and next tomorrow you start making profit, it's not true. It's not true. You have to pay the school fees. So she's paying. Where is that? Cash flow. Okay. Conventional bank can take interest. Can you take interest? No, you can't take interest. Can I sell? Sir, if you have a bank account today, if it's a savings account and they pay you interest, you must give that interest back to charity without expecting profits. That's number one. Number two, if there is an alternative Islamic banking within the community, you can't do it at all. Okay. No, I'm not going to answer that question. That thing has been overflogged. Can I sell in hall? Even when the school says don't sell in the hall, no, you can't sell in hall. Islamic, okay, what are the investment options for students? You learn the theory and how to do investment as a student. Don't abandon it for your studies. Don't abandon it for your studies. Whenever you have gone to study anything, conclude it. What we've discovered is that people who have not learned to conclude their education always find it very difficult to have a staying power in business and see it through. Forget about all the motivational book you are reading. Those things just exist on paper. It's not reality. When the tire hits the road, it's a different story. Okay? When the tire hits the road, somebody say, I was listening to a motivational speaker on WhatsApp. Okay, yeah, WhatsApp, they were sending it around. So I started the school, and within 5 years, this is the kind of profit. I say it's a lie. Go and ask people who are running schools. They will tell you. The first 5-10 years, brother, sorry, where's my sister? Go and ask them. First 5-10 years, they are making losses. They are making money from somewhere else and putting it into the school. They're not making money. So those things you are reading are for motivation, which is good. Now, you want to come to practice, you have to have the tenacity to hold the ball, and you must learn to finish things in cycle. The sister asked about side hustle. This hustle thing. Now, wow. This song will say you even have to double your hustle. If you have an amana that has been given to you as Muslims, we have an amana that we are going to resume this work for 8 o'clock and we are going to close this work for 5 o'clock. In between, we're going to have 1 hour break. That 1 hour break, if you are not eating, you can do it for your side hustle. You deprive yourself. Now, from that 8 o'clock to that 5 o'clock, where you have taken this contract, you can't do another thing. Somebody is paying for it. Somebody is paying for it. You can't do another thing. So you have to, if you are not comfortable with it, you can leave it and go and do your hustle. Not even side now. You can do it proper hustle. Now, you also have your Saturday and your Sundays. You want to use it for hustle, you can go and do hustle. Me, when I recruit staff, you sign. You cannot participate in another business during the time of your employment. Saturday and Sunday, if you are running it, I don't have a problem. But there's also a clause in your job description. Work starts Monday to Friday and possibility of work on Saturdays. There is also another thing that is written in your job description. This job that you are doing and any other thing that management might decide to give to you from time to time. So that side hustle for people who now want to say, okay, so I'm nearing retirement. What I always advise, I just said this to my wife not quite long. I say, you see, you are nearing retirement. Start something wherein during weekend or when you close, you can always fall back on it. Within the period before you retire, you are practicing on it. You're not going to make profit though. You're not going to make profit. You are learning the antique of the business. People think you can just walk into anything and start doing it. You can't. You can't just walk into anything and start doing it. So you learn. You use that period to learn. So that when you retire, you now go back into it. Okay. Yes. Okay, loan recovery, the ethics Islamically. Unfortunately, this question keeps coming up from time to time. Before, if it is a loan, if it's a credit that you've made out to people, you must let them to understand what kind of credit am I giving to you. I'm giving you a credit for which I will recover in so months. I don't want to participate in the profit, but I want the principal back so months. You can take that. If it is for business, you know that for so months the person is able to do this business, whatever they put in their projection, they return their money back to you. If they default, what do? You can go and speak to them, get people who know them to speak to them. You can also recover it through a caddy. You can take them to court. If you know that the person has this money, but deliberately refuse to give it to you, you can recover your money legally. You can't fight it. But you must be patient, even in the recovery. Now, if it is consumption loan, I'm giving you this money to go and feed yourself. Is the person out of hunger? That is the wahala. Now, there is also the Qard al-Hasan, a benevolent loan. In a benevolent loan, the person who collects the loan has a right to lose it without paying back. Do you understand? If you give me a benevolent loan, I have a right to lose the money. I also have a right not to pay back. Now, if it's a loan on overconsumption, somebody has 2 televisions, he collects money from you alone to buy the 3rd television. You are stupid to give the loan. So I didn't want to use this kind of words. I forgot. Sorry, sir. Because the loan will never be paid. It will never. Is a loan based on overconsumption. Islam does not encourage overconsumption. So that is why we said the man who gives the loan must be intelligent, and the man for whom loan is being given to must also be intelligent. And do not give your money to fools. Don't give your money to who? Fools. You have zakat. Say, instead of me to give this zakat to MICA, there's somebody on my street. If I give him to the zakat, he will do well. He will not do well. You don't have the expertise in giving zakat. Me, I realized that. There was a barber on my street and I gave him money for zakat. The number of alcohol consumption just went up. So I now know I don't have the expertise. So I look for organizations that have the expertise and I give them the money. I take wahala off my neck, I put it on their neck, they know how to deal with it. If you have penalty on non-payment of a qard or a ain or a salam, whichever it is, a loan, you have a right. Banks can put a penalty on it. A robber mal, the owner of the money, can also put penalty on the money for late payments. However, that penalty is not your money. That penalty is not your money. That penalty must be given to a charity. So you have put in yourself another responsibility. You have to go and look for MICA to go and give the money to them. It's not your money. You can't consume it. If you consume it, it's haram. So you have to go and look for the owner of the money that you have helped them to collect and go and give them their money. That's the way. That's the position of Islam. Why are Muslims excluded from the financial net? So you have less Muslims having accounts. It's a big challenge. We found cultural issues. We found people who try to ascribe some issues to religion. We found infrastructural issues as well. The area with the most populated Muslims in Nigeria has the largest number of poverty and has the lowest number of financial inclusion. So we've seen a similarity between financial exclusion and poverty. So what we are trying to do now is to bring as many people as possible into the financial nets. I'll give you an example. An NGO approached my company. The NGO wants to give 7,500 naira every month to every pregnant woman throughout the period of the pregnancy, 50,000 naira at birth, and 7 months after delivery, that's postnatal, another 7,500 naira. We couldn't pay. We had to return the money back to them. Because you want to pay through a financial institution where you can show them the record. They don't have accounts. They don't have accounts. So, and our scholars have not also helped. They've not helped. They've said even if you pass in front of a bank, you go to hell. They've not helped. So this has created a lot of issues. So we are going back now to start and clean up the mess. May Allah assist us. I'm hearing this one for the first time. From the way you have described it, it's not acceptable. Okay, because before you can trade on an item in Islam, you must take possession. Now, the aspect that is missing in that is possession. That's one. Secondly, amana is also faulted. Because you've come back to say, this thing is this much. Add this much to it. Don't allow him to know. You understand? So, you must take possession. Possession is not taken. It does not belong to you. You cannot sell what you don't own. Okay? That's why when the Sharia scholar speaks about things we must do, what is common is riba, right? There is garar. Okay, so you see the level of garar in what you have described. My sister, you asked the question, your noise is even more than the question now. Now, the garar is large in that. It's like saying to somebody, I have beds on top of that mango tree. I want to sell them to you. How many beds? That's it. So the thing you do not have, and you can't assume the risk, you can't take the profits. So baranda, Abi, doesn't exist. If you want to make it work, what you do is you buy it from the person and you resell it to the person who wants to buy. Then you take possession. Forex trading. Is forex trading halal? Forex trading. Which one? The one you do online? That one that you used to do online, they say forex trading, forex trading. Is it that one you're talking about? That's the one, Abi? It's a lie. Don't put your money there. You will not make a kobo. Kobo, you will not make. There is no single person that has made money from it. Nobody. If you know anybody, let the person raise his hand. Let me ask him 2 questions. Nobody has made money from it. Nobody. What they've done is that when they lose money, they say, we are now training people on how to do forex trading. They become trainer. I said, trainer of what? Losses? You are a trainer of losses? No. Now, the second part is the forex trading that has to do with me using money to buy something internationally. Money for money, fixed and spot payment. That's halal. Now, you take possession. Sometimes, not physically. You can take a material possession without taking a physical possession of an item. Do we understand that? No, it's not clear. Okay. So, I want to buy $10,000 and I have Naira, and I'm transferring the $10,000 to a customer in America. And so the bank said to me, we have bought $10,000 for you. Okay? I've not taken possession of that $10,000, have I? But they've given me a paper, one small paper that said, you now have $10,000, right? Now, I've taken a material possession without taking physical possession. And I can spend that material possession. Do you understand? So that's material possession. So if you go to IOFI standard, that's standard 623. Page 812, that is the standard. So that's how you take possession. Accounting and auditing of Islamic financial institution, the standard. Can you do auction? Auctions are of various types. Auctions are of various types. So depending on which class of auction that you want to do, there are auctions that are meant to suppress the poor. Auctions that are meant to suppress the poor are haram because they are a result of overconsumption. They say, this is the eyeglasses that Awolowo used when he was alive. Now we want to sell it. So start bidding. Say 200,000, yeah, 200,000, going 500,000. 1 million. What will you do with it? What is the material benefit of this auction to you? What is it? Nothing. So it's haram. It's forbidden. Islam does not allow you to go and do any form of show off or over consumption. So it's not allowed. Now, there are markets where the only way they sell things is to also auction it. And by auction there, what they mean is that, okay, so we come in and we say, this item has a reserve price. Say this glass, the minimum price for it is 20 naira. Anybody that gives us anything above 20 naira, we sell. So he says 25 naira, say sold. But when he said 25 naira, another person said 30 naira, I said no. The Sharia said no. Whatever your brother has put a price on, you can't put another price on it. No, don't worry. It doesn't affect you, brother. It's not for women. So if you toast that sister and I go there too, I can take her away from you. That is not auction. Okay, may Allah grant us a better knowledge of understanding. Wa akhiru da'wana walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.